let's talk about friendship abuse. Now, this is a topic that came up kind of recently at my job. We have been doing training, we have been talking about bullying, we've been talking about like reporting, and um, we've just been learning about, and this is like my third time going through this training, but my boss brought up the fact that, abuse doesn't just exist within families, it can exist in friends as well. And I think that yes, that has never been considered. I don't think so because it's never brought up. We're not taught about friendship abuse. We are often we're talked about very little about domestic abuse or relationship abuse, but friendship abuse, like, non-existent. It's insane because I think it's actually so relevant and it's actually way more prominent than we think, especially in younger grades. And when we're working with kids who are first, second, third, fourth, all the way to like high school, friendship abuse occurs and you see it all the time. And I think it needs to be recognized and said more because I think people don't often understand that what's happening to them in their friendships is abuse. Of course, once the mainstream consciousness gets a hold of a word, they run with it and they overuse it. But I think it's pretty easy to recognize when someone is screaming in your face like this, telling you to shut up, insulting you. And I'm not talking about like talking behind your back and doing that's just mean friendship or bad friendship. Um, it is like the type of friends who are dragging you and pinching you and just abusing you, just like taking advantage of you and treating you like you're worthless. This happens. I see it with little girls a lot, because I work at in a place where it's just girls that we're servicing. But I see these friendships and I'm like, you don't have to be in these friendships. And I don't think people tell little girls that or anyone that, little kids, you don't have to be in these friendships. That's what's so great about friendships. You don't have to be in them, especially when your friend acts like they hate you and that they would rather see you run over than treat you kindly, consider you, give you a good time, whatever it is. And I don't know if it's because these friends, they're just desperate for friendship that they'll take the abuse, and I think that that's probably the case, or that they're kind of conditioned into this behavior and this way of thinking. I have no idea why this might occur. It's beyond bullying. It is straight abuse. It is treating your, and I see it with siblings a lot, and that's another thing that we can address. I see siblings scream at each other or not at each other. I see an older sibling, usually that's usually the case, an older sibling scream and treat their younger sibling like garbage. And that's more acceptable because they're siblings. It's not more acceptable, but I think people feel more comfortable seeing that than seeing it with friendships. And again, these things aren't really addressed at all. So when I see it with friendships, I'm just shocked that one, if you're addressing the perpetrator, if you're addressing the person doing the abusing, one, calling them out on this behavior and making them see that they're being not a good friend, that they're being abusive. And to tell a kid that they're being abusive is not the way to go. One, they might not know what that means all the way, and two, like, it's just a frightening word to say, although that might be the correct definition of it. But depending on their age range, it might be better to say that you are being a bad friend, or that you are taking advantage of another person. The one that hurts me the most is when it's someone telling their friend what to do, how to dress, or is like treating them a bit like a servant, like telling them to do their homework or grab something for them, and they're just being nasty, and that's abusive. And the hitting and all that, you can prevent that, or you can clearly see that and be like, oh my god, don't put your hands on another person. But to tell a kid or even a teenager that the way that they are going about this friendship is straight up borderline abusive, it's a difficult thing because, one, again, we don't consider it, and it's hard to hear, so I can't imagine. It's also hard to say, so I can't imagine how a kid might take that. But especially when it comes to high schoolers, that's really difficult because at that point they should know how to treat people and they should know how to treat their friends. And I remember seeing it while in high school with other kids and just seeing how they treated each other. And again, it was usually one person kind of going after the other and just telling them what to do, taking advantage of like their resources. It could be their money, their car, it could be their friends. Um like it could be anything just to get what they want, and that's taking advantage, that's abuse. And it's insane because we don't talk about it, like I said. But I wanted to bring it out there and just be like, there is this happening. You do not have to be in these relationships. That is what is so great about friendship. And I'm not saying be loosey goosey and unloyal with your friendships. I'm saying you don't have to be in a friendship that is not for you, that is not for you on their side, and it's not servicing you on your side. So if you feel uncomfortable, unhappy, miserable around the person who is your friend, and but you feel needed and you feel like occasionally sometimes they make you feel included or special, when you are grasping at straws for little instances of like acceptance and joy from this person, that is unhealthy and that is abuse, and you need to recognize it. When you're in it, it's hard, but sometimes even if you tell a person that, this is what's hard, when you tell a person the truth and you say, hey, this person, you just little friend over here, that person is treating you like trash. Like, I don't know if you realize they're treating you like a servant. And sometimes they will just reject the idea entirely. It is not as if they easily just accept it and they're like, you're right, let me just not be friends with them anymore. It is hard to break that, especially when they feel dependent on that person for just like the tiniest glimpses of attention. It feeds them for like months, like maybe not months, but weeks. Like they get that little bit of acceptance and joy, like you did good, pets, and they feel like they're on top of the world. And I think more often, like what you need to address is why that is. Like, why does this person give you that glimpse of it, like that tiny thing of attention, feed you? Like, we need to work there. What are you lacking? What are you missing? What's happening, basically? And that is like the deeper conversation. And that's truly the only way I can think of, like trying to get to the core of why is this person accepting this abuse? Two, why is the other person abusing their friends? How do you not know how to treat your friends? And the oftentimes they don't think of them as a friend. They just think of them as a little like, yeah, they're my friend, but we don't know what that means. Like, that's the problem. A friend is someone you can count on. A friend is someone who you have rapport with and you have spark with, and someone who makes you feel comfortable. A friend is communication. A friend is back and forth. A friend is like care. That's what a friend is. That's care. And yeah, some people don't know how to be friends, and it's sad to see, but friendship abuse is not talked about nearly enough, and I wanted to bring it up because I want more people to recognize it when it's happening to them and when they're doing it. Maybe I should make a video towards the people who are doing it, because what the heck. But that's all for today. Lie.